There it is, live. John Shinholser with the McShin Foundation in Richmond, Virginia, here on this wonderful Thursday afternoon. For those of you who do not know me, my name is John Shinholser. I'm president and co-founder of the McShin Foundation here in Richmond, Virginia. Virginia's leading authentic recovery community organization, as well as a person in what I call long-term recovery myself, which means if God willing, the creek don't rise next month, be 38 years clean. And I'm very proud of the fact and humbled that I can be clean that long and have a life and have these conversations. Today, I got two outstanding guests today. I got Kevin Tribble with me. He just celebrated, I want to say 17 years clean.
17 years.
Big time. And I got another fellow. We gave him a stage name. We're going to call him Igor. And you'll know why we call him Igor later in the show. But he actually had a pretty cool journey as well we're going to talk about. We're keeping him incognito, though, in case we don't want to incriminate ourselves today. So this is an unusual show. Of course, we meet people where they're at. We talk about multiple pathways to recovery. And SAMHSA has a great definition of recovery, which basically, when you boil it down, it means if you're doing better today than yesterday, you're in recovery. So anyways, just briefly, I'll start with you, Kevin. Just give us a little 60-second elevator dissertation on who you are, what you're doing, what's going on.
All right. Yeah, like I said, I'm an addict. My name is Kevin. My clean day was July 14th, 2003. I met John on July 13th, 2003 on his back deck. And
we're gonna talk more about that.
Right.
Man, so.
And I'm just been on this journey ever since. I've learned to be one of those productive members of society now.
So. Living the dream, baby. Living the dream.
Right.
We're gonna drop back on your journey a little bit. Igor, how about you? Quick briefing on you.
Well, as far as recovery goes, I was introduced to 12-step recovery at a young age, pretty much due to you.
Don't blame that on me, man.
Yeah, I gotta blame you 100%. No, but so I've been through many different 12-step programs.
You've been rehab,
jail, homeless shelter, homeless,
in and out,
refuge recovery, smart recovery. I've done all of it. Tried all of it, and I liked all of it.
Medication replacement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, MAT.
Now, how old are you?
I'll be 33 this
33. You that old, man? When did we first meet? How old were you?
Probably age 6, maybe
early
90s.
Or 7, yeah.
You used to paint.
Well, don't tell all the tales because then they might figure out who you are.
It's already obvious by my voice, but yeah.
Well, just to those that know you, you know what I mean? But, if the DEA comes knocking, they ain't going to know who you are.
Yeah.
So, all right, anyway, you're doing good today, right?
Doing wonderful today.
All right, we're going to drop back more on you. Kevin, back to you. That day, what do you call it, July 13th?
Right.
I remember Daniel brought you over, right?
My brother had gotten in touch with Daniel, who's a lifelong friend of the family, and he had been in touch with Daniel, and my brother came and asked him to. He said, "I need to do something for my brother," and reached out to Daniel, and Daniel said, "Bring him on over to John's
and Daniel had a little clean time then, right?
Daniel will be clean, I believe, 18 years.
So he had about a year.
Yeah, he had. Yep.
This is up in Hanover County, Canksville, and he brought you over there. You had long hair.
I had long hair. I was probably 190 pounds.
And I remember we're on our deck talking, and I don't think you said 5 words, did you?
No, I amazingly listened.
I mean, it was like, my God, Daniel, could you bring me somebody next time I could have a conversation with?
Right.
I mean,
well, I just remember it being a beautiful day, and y'all, sitting around in a circle, and the guys that you were with, where everybody told a little bit of their story, and he said, if you want what we have, and which was nothing more than they were smoking cigarettes and drinking Pepsi, and just as peaceful and laughing and whatnot, and I said, yeah, I do, I want that.
Yeah, and then we took you to treatment, didn't it?
I went to treatment next day. So my clean date, I called.
Did I drive you up here or something?
No, my brother.
Your brother
older
drove.
brother took me. Yeah.
We hooked you up with Karen in Pennsylvania.
Foundation. That's right. Magic Mountain.
Right. So you Daniel brings you over. We do a 12-step call on the deck. You say, I'll go to treatment. We hooked you up with Karen. Your brother drove you up there the next day.
Yep.
And you one of those people who've been really clean since your first
Clean ever
day.
since, yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Man.
man.
So, how was the treatment episode? Was it good?
Yeah, it was great. I only spent 30 days. I wish I spent about 365 days up in there.
Right. Well, Magic Mountain,
easier,
man, they call it Magic Mountain for a reason.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody wants to leave the mountain when they get up on the mountain.
Right. I remember just turning my will and my life over and there and saying I want to do this and so I don't know if I fooled the counselors, but they said, yeah, you'll be good in 30 days. So
Right. So we're gonna get back to that I remember when you came back down, and then we'll talk more to you in a minute. I'm trying to do the same identical timelines though. So back to you, Igor.
Sure.
So I think your mama contacted me when you were probably 18 or 17.
19. 18, 19.
You weren't that old. And she said, oh, my God, Igor's all messed up. You might have been right if you predicted this, and what do we do? And so that would be like 14, 15 years ago.
Yeah, 2008, the beginning of 2008.
So that's 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So we started trying to help you 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And you were an opiate addict. At 18, man. And, I try to hook you up and get you detox, but somehow you got sucked into the MAT, wasn't it? Or Suboxone?
Not at that time, no. Well, we won't get too deep into that story, but yeah, you got me, introduced me to it. Yeah.
Right.
And then from there, I was 18, super stupid.
You won't feel in the recovery side.
No, not at all. I mean, I was still so new to it, and I already had this kind of, and I still fight with this a little bit. I don't know.
Back then you were like totally non-compliant.
Yeah, 100%.
Everybody was trying to get you help but you.
100%.
And then you started screwing up, but you were introduced to recovery, though.
Yeah,
you were
early.
connected to the recovering community.
Absolutely.
So now you had exposure to two way of life, active addiction way of life, and a recovery way of life.
Yeah, it changes you no matter, even if you're not trying, it'll
still get up in your head and whatnot. Now back to you, Kevin. You came back from rehab, and I remember you wanted to play guitar. You did play guitar.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was playing.
Yeah. And then did you live at home, or you went into recovery?
My younger brother actually put me up for about 30 days.
30 days?
30 days, and I came to meetings around town and whatnot.
Yeah, you were big into meeting. You went to a meeting every day, I think.
Yeah.
And you got connected. And you were doing the meeting thing, and then you were working. You got a job.
No, I didn't work then.
So how long before you got a job? How clean were you?
Oh, I was probably 9 months. I put it off as long as I could.
So for 9 months, you basically just went to meeting, kept your head right.
I did. I was
kept the stress low
to be able to do that.
Yeah. But you weren't living, high on the hog or nothing.
The stress was never too low, but by no means. At 30 days of being back around town, there was too many places and people and stuff that I'd seen, and before I got clean, I'd wanted to move. And I came back and went to meetings and found out about Oxford houses and whatnot. And then I decided I was going to move
into an Oxford house.
Yeah, one morning and moved that evening.
But where was it?
That was in Seattle, Washington.
That's what I was getting at. It wasn't in Virginia. It wasn't in Richmond.
Mariners.
Yeah. You said I'm going to Seattle. I'm going to do the coffee house scene, play guitar.
Right. I was going to do something. I had big dreams.
Yeah, and I remember I'm thinking, holy smoke, are you kidding me? You're going to leave all this to go there? And I heard you play guitar, and you're pretty good at the guitar, but then I heard you sing.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be desired in that. Right?
Well, you got heart, man. Sometimes hard to work, man. Hello, Carrie. Welcome to the show. Glad you're here. So you go to Seattle, and you get plugged into the recovery scene out there.
Yes, I did.
And you're following your dream. You're following your heart.
Yeah.
And I remember you sponsored up out there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Grouped up. And
yeah. Got service.
You were calling periodically, keep me updated.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool.
I was trying to polish his adjustments as best I could.
And I do recall you did have some relationships early on. I know you had a girlfriend way back then.
It came a little bit later. But Yeah, I mean, there's some of that.
Well, that's all good. You're launching into recovery. Now
Right.
back to you, Igor. You know, I ain't gonna let you get too far from the mic, so don't get too comfortable. So you on the other hand, you were like super defined, in and out of recovery, couldn't put some clean time together, always wanted to do something.
Bits and pieces.
And pieces. Well, like what's the most you've been clean in the last?
Well,
I mean, have you ever been off of everything?
Oh yeah, many times, years together.
What's the longest you were in accident?
In one chunk? Maybe 9 months.
You had 9 months off of everything?
Yeah, I was here with you.
All right, so when you hit McShin, you can get clean.
Well, yeah, under the proper state supervision.
Oh, you're on probation.
Of course. Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, you know.
So how were you feeling when you was clean for 9 months?
About the same as I do now. Great. Yeah, wonderful. Free. Still feel a little bit tied down.
But you relapse. You've been relapsing.
Chronic relapser. I mean, over and over, especially when I was younger. And I got to a point, I think when I had my son, it kind of changed my outlook a little bit. But like I said, I just have a little bit of a different viewpoint.
We're gonna get to that.
I'm just trying to make it known, like as far as recovery time, maybe I don't 100%.
Well, technically, you've been in recovery the whole time.
I agree.
And I just sectioned it with the word clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's so many pathways to recovery. There's so many people willing to do certain things.
Yeah.
And I think in 2020, nationwide, recovery community organizations, they're learning to meet people where they're at.
Sure.
You love them where they're at.
Absolutely.
And, one person's definition of clean or pathway may not be another. So that's why you're on the show today. Because,
makes sense.
you got your own particular pathway that's working for you.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that in a minute. So, Kevin, when you came back from Seattle, how long were you out in Seattle?
8 years.
8 years. Good Lord, that was a long time.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Then you just had enough one day and came home?
Well, yeah, I was just, I was kind of in one of those, I wouldn't say ruts, but I just had an opportunity with some business and stuff and family and it was just time to make a change. So, I'm just a believer that my path's already laid out. So I was just trying to find the next right thing to do.
Check the boxes on your life, man. You got Seattle checked on.
Right. I don't believe you get to choose where your roots are, and my roots are with family and everything that's here. And so I came on back.
Right. How long did you stay in Oxford out in?
Not too long, but maybe 60 days, maybe.
Well, that's still a good little hit, though, man.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Oxford. I believe, man, they're awesome.
For a guy like me, they just perfect. Perfect. I mean, yeah.
So when you came back, did you plug back into the community you left? Or?
No, not that was. I mean, I still talk to the people that I was
friends with. I remember when you came back.
Yeah, just totally different space.
Right.
And just really got involved in my job and.
You met a girl here.
I met someone, got married. Yeah.
Got 2 kids.
Got 2 kids now. Yeah.
You're living the dream.
Living the dream, buddy.
But you never let go of your music. You love your music.
Well, I kind of did, and then the opportunity came back up, and I explored it. And next thing I know, I have my album done.
So you just cut an album. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Back to you, Igor. How you feeling, buddy?
I feel wonderful.
Wonderful. Now tell me a little bit talk about you're in and out for the last 12 years. What was working? What wasn't working? Touch on that.
Well, one of my biggest problems, or it could be viewed as a strength to some, but I have a real problem with any authority figures. And it's maybe just the way I come up. I don't know. It's just, I've had it.
That's inherent with addiction. I don't think.
I think we all do, but it's
authority.
Like on a terrible extreme level with me. As we'll get.
When you say authority, you're talking like
just
family, friends,
anyone. I question anyone that wants to have authority over another person. I don't understand. Seems the opposite of spiritual to me. But that's just.
Well, good Lord, you're a public safety hazard. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I champion.
You needed to be on a leash, man.
For a while. But don't. But here we are.
So somewhere along the line, you got into MAT, right?
Medication. Many times on, off. and I think it helps, but I also think it's a very sharp double-edged sword
For you.
I think for a lot of people.
Yeah, we're
but
talking
for me,
about you.
we'll keep
Yeah,
it
that's
on
right.
me,
Yeah,
but,
that's right.
yeah.
Crazy women is the problem for you too.
That's worse than the drugs. By far. That's number one.
We're gonna have to do a podcast on relationships.
Oh,
one
I
day.
should be the top guest for
I
you there.
don't know, man. You might
what
wanna
not
listen.
to do. What not to do.
What not to
To
do.
follow. That's what I tell people. Just do whatever it is. The opposite of what I did.
Kind of like a
You'll be
stock,
all right.
like a stock market. If you want to make money in the stocks, buy opposite of what I buy, man.
Oh, is that how
you'll
you-
get rich.
Yeah, I got you.
So if I pick them, you ain't getting nowhere. So you're in and out. You're hanging, but actually you've been hanging around recovery.
Years.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of like the social part, right? You love the people.
Yeah, it reminds me of like another world that I come from with the music and everything. So the fellowship aspect of it, I love that. And
I know you
the
love people. You're a people person.
The
man.
spiritual thing,
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I just,
I get a big kick out of you every time you're in my life. Every time, even when you're doing bad, you suck. I still enjoy being
I'm
around.
sure, man.
You're the one guy that you're beat half to death. You may not make it through the day, but yet for some reason, I just love being around you.
Yeah.
You got that energy about you.
Hey, that makes sense.
Now,
The
Kevin,
energy.
you run off for years, come back, kept a low profile, got married, steady career, life is good. I bump into you one day, and it's like hitting my long lost buddy, man.
Right.
And then you talk about cutting an album, because a lot of people in recovery probably have a dream to cut an album, or
Yeah, I mean, I'm before I got clean, I was in a band and we were making an album, and I was at the end of my drug use, and so I got real radical and real righteous and blah blah blah, and it ended up they kicked me out of the band and took all my parts out of the album. So that was really, and at that time that was everything to me.
So your addiction cost you your album, your part of the album, your band.
and then my identity right then and there, because that was how I, just thought of myself as, whatever. So, and going through, it wasn't just as simple as getting in the car and driving out here to Seattle or whatever, but along the way, I just learned about writing and the therapeutic value of putting thoughts and stuff onto paper. And I didn't even start playing guitar until I was 23 after I got my second DUI. And that was another low point.
Better learn some blues songs if you're going to be getting DUIs, man.
Yeah, that's when, and I always thought about this on the songs that I've written, because I wrote most of these that are on the album.
I listened to the album. It's a great album, man.
I appreciate it. During my early recovery, there's 3 or 4 songs that are new that I've written recently, but they just, it was just the way I dealt with things, and one of the ways, and I always thought they were depressing songs or whatever, but now I listen back and they're full of hope.
What did your mama tell you when she listened to the album?
She felt sorry for me, I guess, and she just thought
you wrote an album that pulled at other people's heartstrings. I mean, that's the gift of the artistry behind writing and singing and music.
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of it. She felt sorry that it was more about just the pain that I
pain
was
and sadness. You tapped into that.
Exactly.
A mother's listening to her son.
Exactly. And I'm being a father now, I totally understand. You don't want your kids to hurt.
Yeah, but it's damn good music, man. Yeah.
I appreciate with the trip about that thing is when I was doing my other band, we had this saying, this is about the time Almost Famous came out, and it's all happening. It's all happening. We were making big, and we were playing shows, and a few people started coming or whatever. It's all happening. That used to be one of my favorite songs, and through staying clean every day, one of the guys that played original music on that movie is playing on my album.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, small world out there.
And it's a good world out there,
Yeah.
And if you do the next right thing, good things happen.
It's a good world
That's
out there.
right.
It really is. Still
Yeah.
a good world in spite of a lot of stuff going on around us.
Right. I believe that.
So, Igor, the man's talking about a dream come true over here.
Sure.
You got any dreams?
Man, Yeah, I think so. But once again, my problem is like focusing on one thing.
Oh, you've been like all over the map since I met you,
I
man.
relate heavily to a lot of what he's talking about. A music guy. I think I heard him say, but I think he probably followed through with it a little bit more. I started playing guitar at a young age. I more so in recent years, I'm more attracted to keys and piano,
Right.
but also I do a little bit more like futuristic type stuff where make like electronic music. I use Ableton,
Right.
stuff like that. So I've been getting into that more. I just want to do all art though,
Right.
even if I'm not even good at it. You know, I just and
you,
I have a
you were
6-year-old
making
son.
those crystals too, right?
Oh yeah, I made jewelry for a while. Like,
I remember that, man. You got
yeah,
into you.
I think I sold your wife some actually.
Yeah, she likes jewelry. So back to you,
Sure.
Igor.
Yeah.
Igor.
Nice John slip up here. It's fine.
Well,
the AKA.
AKA Igor.
Yeah.
So here you are, tripping in and out of recovery, plugging along.
No, is that ironic?
You went to jail for a while, right?
A few different times. Yeah, nothing too.
How long?
All together, just each
in
time.
the stretch. What's the longest?
The worst
stretch?
was about 6 months.
That's a long time.
Still, yeah, half a year.
Yeah, you were a young man.
Yeah.
So you like the ladies, right?
Yeah,
So
a little
6
bit
months
too
in
much.
jail, like, a little
it's
built
rough.
up.
Well, it goes back to what you're saying. Absolutely, I agree. You build up the extra testosterone. You're surrounded by a bunch of insane people. But I was coming off the MAT, so I felt like shit for the whole 6 months.
Oh yeah, nothing, man.
I was on a high.
And you
high
like to eat too. We've been to eat a few times. I know you
Yeah,
like the
hundreds.
food.
I've eaten out with you at least 100 times. At least.
And we always got what we wanted, didn't we?
Yeah.
So you don't get that shit in jail.
No.
You get what they give you.
But we'll get to it later with my recent transformation, if you will. I changed my diet, so I've lost 40 pounds.
Yeah, you look good, man.
in the last few months. But anyway, the MAT thing. So I was when I went to jail that time for almost 7 months, which it is a huge train wreck of a story. I was in 3 different jails. But anyway, I was on like 16 milligrams of Subutex at the time.
When you went in?
Yeah. Every day. I mean, for years I had been on it too, like straight every day. I wasn't
So
like
you
a
go
lot
to
of
jail
people.
and you go cold turkey.
You have to go cold turkey. I was probably coming off of other things as well. I can't, I wasn't living well. And anyway, so I went in, and yeah, man, I was, going through it's almost like a minor case of opiate withdrawal for like 90 days. 60 to 90 days.
Coming off of Subutex.
Yeah, but I think if you did it properly with the doctor and you weaned off of it, you can avoid that. But it's hard to do in the correctional system.
Yeah, when you get locked up in a cold turkey
Yeah,
facility.
they don't give you.
Did you go to a program in jail?
Well, I have not that time. No. I probably should have. I had the opportunity to the real program or whatever, but
you didn't do it.
Not at the time. No.
Your head won't right.
It wasn't even that. I just felt like laying around.
During your journey in recovery,
sure.
Your 12-year journey, did you have any hopes or visions of what you wanted your life to look like?
Always kind of what Kevin had stated when he first met you. More so, it's like I don't have this huge vision for a career, this or that. I just think I always have craved like peace, good relationships with my family, with friends, positive connections with people. And then I think everything just kind of comes in due time, like with what he said of doing the next right thing. I mean, the way I don't have the best record. So it's like the career thing I'm trying, but I think I've found a good company I work with now. So, but as far as like real dreams like that, yeah, I think some of mine were probably more along the lines of his music, stuff like that. But I don't think it's ever too late to do anything. I just don't think I'm gonna, I'm not gonna make 6 figures a year off doing it.
It took me 16 years to get this done.
yeah. But that's cool, man, because I think in a way, I think even when I look at like,
Well, that was a goal you set. You achieved the
I
goal.
did, and
sure,
And,
there you go.
and you got to set goals, and then you work with your
Absolutely.
goals. But Kevin, back to you. Here you are, 17 years clean. Did you think 17 years ago your life would be like it is today?
No.
Couldn't even dream this stuff, could you?
I couldn't. No, it's like I said, I got 2 kids. I got a loving wife, and I can't believe the obsession and the desire to use drugs is lifted.
It's just gone away.
Gone away.
It's been replaced with the desire to live a good life, as you describe a good life.
And I had a procedure done, and the only time I've had medication, and I remember before they were going to put me under, just boohoo and crying because I was scared of what the other side was going to be.
Right.
Because I have all the stories and stuff that you hear about people getting on pain pills and stuff afterwards.
Yeah, well, now you know what they're for and how to take them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I just
if it comes up.
Yep. I just afraid of the unleash the beast again.
Yeah. Well, now Ian, back to you. I remember talking to you a couple months ago, and you sounded fabulous. And I know your journey. I know what you've
on
been
the telephone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, holy smoke, this boy sounds good.
Yeah.
Because I know you've struggled, you've been ups and downs, you've tried all these different pathways, and you abused them all too. I might
For the
say.
most part,
Yeah.
I'm a rule bender.
Yeah, you've been the rule every step of the way. But then a couple months ago, we're talking. You sound good. You sound better than I've ever heard you sound. You had your wits about you. You could carry out a sentence from start to finish.
Yeah.
You got a steady job. You've been working steady for a
multiple
while.
ones until the pandemic. But yeah, go ahead.
But you've been taking care of yourself now, right?
Yeah.
How long you been taking care of yourself without the help or aids of?
Dude, being an only child, that I don't like asking people for help, even because I did it all the time.
Your parents try to help you.
Oh, big time.
All the time.
Over and over again.
Get you in recovery houses and treatment. But a couple of years ago, or a year ago, however long it's been, you've been doing your own thing.
Yeah, I mean, the best time in my life ever for a transformation was when I was 23 when I went to the healing place and it was like when everyone completely cut off everything, like all your bridges are burned.
Yeah,
that's when I started to open my mind up to it. I was always kind of a spiritual person, but your dad was stripped of everything.
Yeah, but your family would employ you when nobody else would.
Oh, absolutely, he would.
So that was almost like enabling that.
100%.
But the last
100%.
Last year or two, you've been totally on your own, right?
Well, yeah.
And it's going good.
Yeah, it's always. I think that's given. You got someone that's there, always there to bail you out of something. It's detrimental, you know what I mean? And it's out of love. Like they just don't know,
Right.
I get it. Because since I've been in a relationship where I was the sober person and they were using it, and I got a little taste of my own medicine, kind of, it's like, and it made me kind of look at that. So
what turned your life around here recently? What's happened?
Man, it's a mixture of things. I know where you want me to go with this, but do you want me to bring up the microdosing?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your pathway, man. You found something that works for you.
I always knew about this, and I'm not going to even lie. I've even tried it in the past. I think it's all about like what your intentions are in life. So like you can use anything as a tool, right? Just don't use it as a crutch is the way I look at it. But anyway, so there's a lot of new research out. I'll start with that. About low doses of psychedelic drugs, mostly psilocybin mushrooms.
Yeah, I've seen some.
Same with LSD.
A lot of documentaries out there.
There's tons of documentaries out right now. There's a lot of studies at Johns Hopkins University, which is like, one of the most prestigious medical schools, I would imagine, in our country.
Well, it's a big scientific proving ground.
Yeah, and but anyway, so back to me, I always kind of knew about this stuff, and I was introduced to that world at a young age through music.
So you like psychedelics?
I love them. I don't recommend them to people because that's dangerous territory. When I tell people, what works for me might not.
Let me ask you this question: Sure. You've been on Suboxone a long time, off and on.
Well, yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, and then you recently started microdosing.
Yes,
Okay.
again.
And
yeah.
then, but that's helped get you low dose.
Yeah, lowers my dosage. Yes, quit smoking cigarettes. I completely changed my diet. I also had what we would call in recovery maybe a moment of clarity, like a spiritual awakening of some sort. I was always kind of closed-minded to that, and I've been like studying different religions and stuff recently, just trying to find
your hit, man.
Yeah.
Your purpose.
I like Buddhism a lot.
Yeah, it's cool.
But the same with like the teachings of
mindfulness.
Jesus. Yeah, all that yoga, the meditation.
Teaching
stuff.
of Jesus is cool. He was all about love
Jesus
and help.
is great, man.
Yeah.
I think man just kind of ruins everything with our interpretations, but that's another story.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with the with psilocybin microdosing, it would be like
take a little chip off a mushroom or something.
Exactly. It's like a sub-perceptual dose. So you wouldn't even feel this, but the studies show right now, they may have just concluded, but they had studies at Johns Hopkins with psilocybin, with gambling, alcoholism, and nicotine addiction. And the conclusions of all of them made it so it would almost appear that psilocybin somehow it has this mechanism in your brain. Well, what they say it does is it repairs damaged brain tissue. Like this is a fact.
The neurotransmitters are jumping around trying to get in the right spot.
Apparently it literally
reset your brain.
Well, it does that too, but they're saying that it regenerates damaged brain tissue. So they're actually looking into all different things about it. But
I heard where they give some older folks, maybe it was
they're dying of cancer. Well, that too.
Well, something they were giving them like a 3-month dose at a time of some
macro dose.
Yeah, some type of psychedelic, and it's supposed to enhance their moods.
Sure.
Extend their life.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there was some real promise in what I was
There's a lot of it. I've been preaching this gospel for years, but I feel like, in recovery, it's kind of a touchy subject because you have.
Well, there's an old saying: when the candy man's in charge of his own candy, he has a tendency to
overeat the candy. Yeah, this monkey can't sell bananas. But yeah, I get it. But no, I think it's done wonders. But again, I think it goes back to your intention. If you have intentions of healing from trauma or intentions of having a better diet or intentions of not chasing after pleasure, which is essentially just what addiction is. It's like I always want something to fill that void, right?
Right.
And I just saw a massive decrease in that. It was bizarre. I still hit this little vape thing every now and again, but like I stopped smoking cigarettes. I was drinking beer here and there. I just stopped all that. And it wasn't even, it's just like a choice to me now, but I have a different
perspective on it.
My perspective is way different than your typical disease model and all that. But that's just my own experience.
Now, what do your family think of your journey you're on right now?
I couldn't tell you because they're my dad. I mean, my dad's had his brain cancer come. I don't know if you know, but he's dealing with a lot on his own. But my relationship with both of my parents is better than it's been in a decade. Yeah, since I was a young teenager.
Well, I think they look at you like you're finally launching in your recovery. You found a decent orbit that works for you.
Yeah.
You become a useful, productive member of society.
Yeah,
you've been holding down gainful employment for a while. You got a son. You're helping to take care of your son.
Yeah, trying as best as I can.
You got a great job. I mean, to me, you are the epitome of multiple pathways. Meet them where they're at. Keep an open mind. Don't be so judgmental toward what other people do or what works for them, because you're on the brink of death many times.
Many times. I mean, I was dead. For sure. Dead. For hours. And I thank God for the girl that I was dating at the time.
She saved your life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, like going back to the spiritual thing, like there's something to that story because I was gone.
Right.
I mean, I remember waking up, my ears are ringing really loud. It was like
when you called me about a month ago talking about Jesus, I'm thinking, oh my God, he got hold of something, man.
Yeah.
This guy. He's on fire here. But Kevin, let's jump back to you for a minute. You're paying close attention to this conversation, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, to me, you're the most laid back, casual dude I think I know, man. It would almost take a fire in the building for you to get excited about doing something quick, I think. So,
Well, I'm just listen and learn.
conversation.
Yeah. I mean, there's always. I'm just a believer in staying in my lane, and so I think it's great that he's found something that's working for him, and more power to him.
Right. How's your lane today? I mean, we had lunch together. That was
Yeah,
pretty good. Celebrating your 17
just got a
years.
little water. 17 years.
I mean, how's COVID affecting you?
I ain't gonna lie, it's been hard. You have two small kids, and luckily my wife and I have been able to keep working through this. But that with school closing and whatnot, that's just the stress.
You
that
almost
nobody
get a
signed up
tag
for.
team at the house now, don't you?
Yeah.
How's your side of the tag team? Avoid and evade.
Let's change the subject right now.
Your wife might hear this.
Yeah.
She's doing a great job. I know that
she's
much,
a great mom. Yep. I'm very blessed. Very lucky.
So,
who would ever thought?
So you're 17 years clean. You're doing great. You're in recovery. Family life, everything going good. COVID hits. I know the business you're in. I know your business is affected. Your company's affected. Everything's affected. Turned upside down. You got any fears about any of that?
I got plenty of fears. Once I didn't know how bad they could get until you have kids.
Right.
Because I like to think that I'm tough as when I'm by myself or whatever, I can handle anything. But now that you've got to worry about two other little kids, I mean, I believe kids are the most innocent thing in the world.
If we don't look after them, who will, right?
It's nothing worse than seeing a kid scared.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't, but
imagine all those kids that grew up in Afghanistan or Lebanon.
I do, man. I do. And that's why
Southside Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
well, that's
it's
still
horrible.
a rough spot too. I agree with you.
Yeah. It's, I just hope and pray that people just can grow up. And
hope we have a world they grow up in.
Right. The adults start showing up and all this other stuff.
Got it. But now I have seen more of you in the last 3 months than I have the last 3 years.
That's true.
So,
I feel
so you're getting out a little more connection to.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before. I've gone into the church, and my wife and I, because I want to plant the seed in my kids. I'm a spiritual believer. I'm a believer. And just so.
You like church, man. That's cool.
You know what it is I like when people come together for the good cause.
Right.
That's what I like. You take what you need and leave the rest. You take that to church too.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to ask Ian about that in just a minute, because I agree. Connection to community.
Right.
Find a community you can connect to that you like and you want to be around. What's your community, Ian?
Well, I think I've got many.
You do. I know you do.
Absolutely do. It's weird. I have, and they're kind of conflicting. But
well, you can. Yeah, it's almost like I got Republican friends and Democrat friends. They conflict.
Well, I'm somewhere in the middle. With everything.
I'm not talking politics. There was a correlation of
it's still kind of like a microcosm, right, of everything. I mean, I still am in touch with many people in recovery. In fact, I've been talking.
Igor, I got the Igor name right.
No, you haven't for the last four times.
Igor, you're doing
it
good,
is what
Igor.
it is. It is what it is. But so for instance, I've been talking to someone that we just talked about him downstairs about us maybe starting a new thing.
Recovery thing or just thing in general?
Yeah, kind of. But more like it would basically take aspects of like a church, like what he's talking about. Like it would be a fellowship type situation, but without the
restrictions you might see.
Without restrictions, but also it doesn't even have to be for just
a recovery
addiction.
commune.
It could be for
beliefs.
Overeating. It could be for
gambling,
abuse. I mean, whatever. Just people that had trauma. Yeah, any of that. And then we all come together.
Well, is that like refuge recovery or?
I believe it is, yeah. But we were thinking that maybe you'd want to fund the bill. Let us have the meeting.
Fund? It wouldn't be fun, man.
I'm just playing. Nah, but
I'll let you owe $20 if that's what you're talking
seriously, though, kind of like what he's talking about. because I wasn't raised in any.
Well, communes,
religious
everybody
situation.
pitch in and pay for it themselves.
Yeah,
Recovery
I
commune.
don't want to use that word because some people,
Community.
Sure. But for instance, like we could do it at the basement here, and it wouldn't necessarily have to be affiliated with a 12-step program. It doesn't have to be affiliated with any specific
Like a
religion.
weekly 1 hour meeting.
Yeah, that's just
come as you are, meet you where you at.
Exactly, and
Yeah,
it's just for spiritual guidance and everybody gives you, like they say in recovery, or you've heard it many times, that God probably speaks through the greater
good.
The consciousness
God
of
will
the people.
speak through the people around.
Absolutely. So that's kind of what we're talking about. But anyway, yeah. So I think my community is really.
Hey, Rebecca, you want to join? There's Rebecca. She wants to join Igor's community.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think we can get her in.
Yeah, I'm sure we could get plenty of people in. But what I think about it is I have a lot of friends like you. I mean, that are in 12. I have nothing against 12. I'm all for every pathway possible, and I think there's more that we aren't exploring.
Yeah,
mainly because
the
of
undiscovered
draconian laws and stuff like this that are just ridiculous.
Government overreach, draconian drug law, the inability to experiment.
Prisoners of the drug war, all of us. But look, here's what I think is that we can all come together. And sometimes I did feel like I was like a little, and this was probably just personal insecurity, but I kind of felt like a little bit alienated from certain groups
because you weren't following their protocol.
Because I was on the maintenance, and it was like even if I was 100% honest, it's like you just know how it is, and maybe it's gotten better. I haven't been to 12-step meeting in probably 10
when
months.
MAT first came on the scene, 12
I remember
people terrified of it.
They've been terrified of it even 3-4 years ago. But it's kind of because of people like you, I believe.
Open-minded to multiple pathways.
Exactly. And that's why, yeah, I agree. And I even saw it, you guys and shit allowed me to do, my doctor.
I tell both y'all a little hidden secret of mine. I don't even know if it's a hidden secret, but it's almost like I'm surrounded by wonderful people all the time.
Sure.
I mean, straight up, total never did nothing people. Some people in recovery that don't do nothing. I mean, I run with different 12-step groups and whatnot, but most favorite people I could possibly run with seems to me the ones that are at this table. You know what I mean? It's the fresh people, the new people, the people that are trying to figure out life and where they want to go and how to get there. And I get a great deal of joy from being around folks that I think my lived experience could possibly rub off on them in one way, shape, fashion, or form.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, you've always been a pretty big inspiration for me, man. This guy here saved my life probably, at least 4 or 5 times.
You saved your own life. I just haven't given
away. You were an accomplice.
Well, I ain't scared to share my thoughts or my experiences. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I certainly ain't scared to get up and go at it either.
I've always, I admire people that speak what's on their mind, and you've always been kind of the living
example. It does keep me in trouble
from
time to time.
Well, yeah, but that's just because people don't like the truth.
That's why I love America. Freedom of speech,
exactly.
Man. Freedom of press,
all
freedom to petition your government.
Yeah.
I mean,
for now,
yeah. Well, we can still petition. I'm just got to do it virtually.
Yeah.
Wear a mask, do it virtually, social distance, but you can petition your government.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
But I ain't trying to go political.
Why not?
What are you thinking over there?
I'm just listening, trying to learn something.
Are you learning anything?
I learned I'm grateful today, and
Now, both you guys woke up this morning. You had no idea you're going to be on this podcast today because we didn't line you up till lunchtime.
Right, exactly.
Did you think this morning as you going to work, living the dream that, I'll end up on McShin podcast?
No idea.
No idea.
But I rolled with it when I was there. So,
it's a good feeling, ain't it?
It is. It's just another blessing along the way.
It's nice to have the liberty and freedom to do pop-up stuff like this, man. This is incredible, I think.
Yeah, man. You've come a long way, John.
Yeah, I have. I'm still going too. When you start way down like I did, you got a long way to go.
Would you ever thought you'd be here holding a podcast
Never.
that many years ago?
They didn't exist.
I know.
Go ahead.
How much did your daughter influence the podcast? Because I see she has a podcast.
Yeah, she does. I would say probably not much. If
He's not giving you credit, Mary.
No, Mary Payne's done a great job with her podcast. I think she ought to fire it back up and do a nice regular weekly one. You know, and she probably will.
Yeah, I'll be the guest if she needs.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially during COVID, there's got to be 1 million podcasts, if not 2 million.
Yeah, probably even more than that.
I've been a big fan of Joe Rogan here lately.
Yeah, me too, man.
He's been talking about all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that podcast, in a way, helped me a lot early on. And
I get texts all the time for people that listen to Joe Rogan. They send me clips of what he said. Man, John, you got to hear this, you know. And
well, I'm a big fan. I don't know if you have either of y'all. I won't go too far into it, but he has a guest a lot. It's another comedian who gets deeply into what I was telling you about. Is Duncan Trussell.
I don't really ring a bell. I don't remember.
You'd like him a lot, but he's he's a comedian, but he's really into the science aspect. He's a Buddhist, but there's a lot to learn from him.
I'm sure I learn from everybody all the time.
Yeah, me too.
Learning never stops.
Well, it's great in this day and age with the technology, man. We have literally the answer to just about everything.
Well, let me ask both y'all a question. Right now, we're in the largest addiction spike, a largest relapse spike civilization has ever experienced. Yes, sure. COVID. I mean, how y'all think it's going to end? How bad do you think it's going to get?
Well, I mean, speaking personally, I get it because it makes people isolate, right? We haven't been able to. I
ask you how bad you think it's going to get.
What with the addiction,
the epidemic, and the relapse and the death?
Well, until the laws change, and I don't want to get too deep in, but it's not going to change. I hate to say this.
So we're in for just a trajectory for a while.
Either that or stay. How the statistic? Has it been in an upward trajectory?
Big time.
Just in the recent months.
Yeah, the last 4 months has blown up.
Well, it makes plenty of sense to me, just because of the chaos isn't good for a lot of people. And isolation is really bad. And for me, I feel like for me personally, I was kind of the opposite. I saw my own friends and stuff like going through like overeating, doing all this. And I feel like thankfully to the microdosing, psychedelics, that stuff, it kind of made me more.
So you picked a good time to get into it.
Oh yeah, it was big time because it literally just forced me. It just forces you to sit there and put a microscope on your life. So it makes you very introspective. And then it's like, you either shit or get off the pot. Like I can keep sitting here. I know what to do, but do I put it into action? And it helped me. And I'm not saying it would work for everyone, but with the right intentions, living healthy, doing the next right thing is a big one, helping people.
Wait till all the overweight people find out the microdose and you lose weight.
No. Don't. It's got nothing to do with that.
What do you mean?
That was just that was all me.
Yeah, but if you take some microdose and tell yourself, I'm not going to eat, I'm going to lose weight.
Yeah, it might work. I think I tried to for a while. There's like
you lost 40 pounds.
A Buddhist diet is what I was trying to follow. So I went completely vegetarian.
Ryegrass and mushrooms.
Well, yeah, I went like vegetarian almost for about a month, but then I started feeling like I wasn't getting enough protein, so I started eating fish and chicken and stuff again. But that's what did it, man. I eat a lot of vegetable, whole foods. It goes back to all this, the podcast, Rogan even. They're always talking about health and wellness and fitness. And so a lot of that, I think that all goes very hand in hand with recovery. And a lot of us don't want to talk about it, but like you are kind of what
your first thing, we talk about spiritual, mental, and physical.
Yeah.
Physical encompasses eating right, exercising.
I can get real bad.
So it's the same message no matter where you go. It's just a matter of the messenger, and are you open-minded to the message?
Sure.
So what do you think, Kevin? You are the largest spike in relapse and overdoses we're going to ever record in history is going to be through this COVID period. I mean, thoughts on anything we should or shouldn't be doing?
I'll just say this, that I have faith. When I was in my loneliest, and I have faith growing up and blah, 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 it's always shaped different forms and whatnot. But God brought me to the 12 steps and traditions, and I have hope. I have faith in that he didn't bring us this far to fall off the cliff.
Sure.
So I think we're in for maybe
A long
who knows?
haul.
A long haul. You know, I feel for these people. I feel for the isolation. I tried to go to a meeting the other day, and I don't know if it had closed or whatever.
Well, you know, our home group meeting every Sunday night.
That's right.
Out
That's
in the
right.
Park, so.
But you know, it was. I don't know. I'll just suit up and show up every day. You know,
A great attitude, man. Suit up and show up every day.
Hey, Kevin, if you need the volume down on your headphones, just turn it knob on 2 there.
okay. Thank you.
So number 2 is
Number
the one.
2.
Yep.
That's Todd, our techie. He is voiced in on the show today. Good work, Todd, man. Todd's having fun today, aren't you?
It's an easy Thursday.
Easy Thursday.
Right.
You know, it's a nice lackadaisical Thursday. I love Thursdays for some reason. You pass hump day, coming up on the weekend, chore day. I mean, don't get no better than that. But now I'm even happier because we ain't have much rain, so I don't have to cut the grass probably. Do got to do a lot of water. My wife did plant a lot of extra plants this year, so I didn't realize you could spend so much time watering for something you didn't have nothing to do with, you know. So, but that's interesting. Ian, what's going on, bud? I mean, Eagle.
It doesn't even
What's
matter
going
at this
on,
point. Y'all know who
Eagle?
it is. But yeah, well, I was gonna say that back to what you're talking about with that spike.
The spike.
The key to everything is what you're talking about, man. We need more pathways, more, but the introduction is the hardest part, right? To get someone.
Find the one that's right for you.
Well, no, I mean, even in 12 steps, it's hard enough just to get someone to the point, unless it's done by the courts or their parents or whoever's controlling their life with you know, enabling them, whatever it may be. I think it's difficult just to make the jump to get to your first meeting or to even
First step
think
was hard, man.
to even think you might need that, you know. But there's a lot of with the opiate epidemic, though. I think people know, like, it's pretty obvious when you have a problem, right? I mean, I would.
Well,
think.
the opiate epidemic is a spike on the addiction epidemic.
Sure.
You know, we have an addiction epidemic. Opiates a spike, and then now it's a fentanyl spike.
Oh yeah, I don't even
And
think.
then you got the benzodiazepine. They're
Yeah,
spiking
bad,
big time. And a lot of these are manufactured drugs. They're not really pharmaceutical.
Yeah, well, yeah,
manufactured
they're made in China and pressed to
drugs.
look like
wherever. Yeah.
Well, the internet's made it so, you know, people can just order whatever they want, and it's sketchy. I think I saw something where you a while back had said that McShin or something had done some thing where you guys like ordered something. You know what I'm talking
Oh, we
about?
had a kid that wanted to show how easy it was
To order
to get
fentanyl
gummy
and shit.
fentanyl all over the mail.
Yeah, man. It's
So they
it's
went
unbelievable.
online and they pulled it up. We had a news guy over here. We said, look, you go right to this website, give them your credit card. You'll have some gummy bears in 3 to 5 days.
And they showed up, didn't they?
Well, I don't know if we sent them here or not. I can't
But I
remember.
think there was like an article about it or
Yeah,
something I read
yeah.
about. But anyway, beyond that, I think the thing is with the opiate epidemic too is like, you know, it's just
You've been following Portugal drug laws.
Of course,
I mean,
man.
should we do that here?
Absolutely. That's what I was about to bring up next. I think they need to completely end the drug war, tax and regulate everything. And you'd have way less overdoses, way less, because here's the problem with the opiate epidemic. Speaking from my personal experiences, to be honest with you, I don't even think that what these people that are using heroin now, they're all getting just fentanyl.
That's what they want now.
They don't
They're
even,
addicted to it.
heroin doesn't even exist. And I don't think because here's what it is. And I've read about it. I've researched it. Apparently fentanyl is far cheaper to produce, and just one chemist can just make it in his garage.
Yeah, here's pretty easy.
So
to
you
make,
don't
too.
have to actually grow and harvest opium poppy, which cuts out a massive part
Yeah.
of the world.
Taliban going out of business.
Exactly. And it's way cheap. So I think what we're dealing with is it's a type of part of the capitalistic mindset of drug dealers. Even they have no. So they're. Who would you rather trust? an actual legit company that's being watched by the FDA and they're regulating it, or just some guy on the corner that tells you this is what it is.
My friend Christina Dent down in Mississippi, she thinks we ought to have all legal drugs.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
it'll cut back on the crime.
All the black market drugs,
Exactly.
take that right off the table.
There would be no more cartels.
You get the same quality drug every time. It won't be contaminated.
I know that's a very difficult thing for a lot of people in recovery to try and process.
Well, same with regular folks on the street. They think that's
that's crazy. But then I get that mindset. But then if you really are in the front lines and you see it all the time, people dying from fentanyl. We know people every 2 weeks that die. Every 2 weeks.
It's about a week right now.
Every week, yeah. And I don't think we would be experiencing those if they were purchasing
it. All manufactured, FDA approved, and distributed.
Because then they know what they're doing.
Well, they did that during
They'll still overdose if they want to.
Oh, no matter what, no matter who does what, you're still going to have a lot of people die. A lot of people won't ruin their lives.
Some. Way less, though. Way less.
What do you think, Kevin?
I'm glad y'all out there on the front lines. With my kids, I'm dealing with Bubble Guppies and Paw Patrol. I'm in that world right now.
Your wife and 2 kids looking pretty good, ain't they?
It's simple. I enjoy the simple things in life now. But I hear you. If it wouldn't bother me if they legalized everything as well. I mean, let it go.
Yeah, get rid of the black market. Get rid of contaminated.
People are going to do drugs either way, right?
That's true.
So what are we doing? I mean, I'm not going to go buy the fentanyl at CVS, but somebody, they will.
I don't know.
Because either that or they're going to buy it,
Well, this is a topic for a whole nother podcast, and we'll do one on it too.
Right.
So my takeaway today is, besides having an exciting 1 hour with 2 of my buddies, is the good life in Kevin's world is a full-time job, going to church on Sundays, beautiful wife that you love each other, 2 great kids, bright looking future. Ian, you found the pathway that works for you. I've never seen you happier. Igor, I mean. I've never seen you happier, you know what I mean? You found your own little pathway, and life is good.
It's good.
And I just see nothing but promise around here all the way around, man. Just stay the course, and can keep up the good work. Todd, we got anything coming up? Are we good for a few days, or how's it looking?
We're good for a few days. We'll be back next week. So
next Tuesday. Next
yep.
Tuesday, we'll line up a great show for next Tuesday at 2:00. And we appreciate everybody listening. God bless everybody out there.
Can I get a shameless plug of my CD?
Absolutely. Kevin, I'm sitting here with Kevin's CD. You can't really see it on the live thing, but talk about that briefly, Kevin.
I was just going to say, this is
what's the name of it?
It's Foxhole Memoir.
Foxhole Memoir.
Yeah, and it's on all the streaming
Spotify,
YouTube,
Spotify,
all that other stuff.
Yeah, I pulled it up on Spotify.
It's by Kevin Tribble. You won't. I'll get Todd to put that up on.
I appreciate that.
Right there on Spotify.
There it is.
Download
it, buy it, purchase
made
it
with a bunch of friends, and
I like the song. I like the song, Foxhole Memoir.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to it all.
Road trip. I feel like I just been on a road trip.
Right.
Bring in the clown. Definitely just brought the clown in. Bus ride home. Lenny who? Field trip. Chaperone. Field trip chaperone.
Yeah.
Tight grip. Pink elephant. Florentia and Chicken Bubba. That was my favorite.
I like the album title, man. Foxhole Memoir. That's a good title.
That was I think that was the first song I wrote clean.
Foxhole.
It's just
I was stunned when I listened to the disc. I thought, my God, this is like this up there with Bob Dylan, John Prine.
So is it
quality music?
I'm a believer that everybody's got something in them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then when you try and apply, you can pull it out.
I think we're all artists, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it ain't the best, but it's all I could do. But I'm proud of it. And yeah.
Did you I haven't listened to it yet. Is it's a band, or did you do all the instruments? Or
No, it's got a couple people that live out in Seattle.
okay,
And so you balance the technology is great.
Yeah,
these
would you
days.
splice or something?
Yeah, you send out a file and they send it back, and
Yeah, are
put
you
it
familiar
in
with-
Pro Tools? Yeah,
Nice.
and just people
Is
around my
that you up there,
neighborhood.
Kevin Tribble, here now?
Nice.
No, that's not me.
That's the wrong
Does that
one,
look like me?
Todd.
No, the link wasn't you.
The link.
Oh, yeah,
it was
yeah.
you. It was you. It was
Yeah.
you.
Well, good Lord, man. What's the
Yeah.
matter? Man? You
I
taking
wear
that
my
shit he's
glasses, I
taking,
couldn't
man.
I was like, that's
We'll
not me.
pop that back up there. You
Yeah,
got
that's
it
it.
on there.
That's it.
All right, gang. That's it for today. We appreciate
That's
everybody joining us,
Thank you.
hanging in there with us. Like I said, we love you. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here next Tuesday. More later. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, this is Todd. I'm the producer of the Getting the Herd podcast series. And I just wanted to take a minute to thank everybody for their votes and just to remind everybody that you can continue to keep voting daily until July 19th. We're actually really excited about the opportunity to be in the running for, best local podcast in Richmond. So this podcast has been instrumental in helping so many people's lives, myself included. There's a lot of work that goes into these podcasts, and anybody that's in recovery, they need something good and positive to listen to, and not just for them, but for their family members. And just remind people that you can vote daily until the 19th for the Richmond Times-Dispatch Best of 2020 local podcast. So we're really excited about the opportunity to help further the message of recovery for those that may not even know about it or those that are still sick and suffering. So thank you again, and we look forward to bringing you more podcasts daily as we can.